Hello, my friend. Welcome back to the Mindset Check podcast. I'm your host, Mesha McKittrick. This is a podcast where we believe that as you take time for a mindset check, you have more power than you think you do. And where we also believe that Christmas doesn't need more time. Christmas needs more moments. I love breaking apart Christmas and figuring out how we can bring Christmas to life in our hearts more effectively. Before we get started, I wanted to share with you something that is really fun that I'm doing for Truvy Lane Jewelry. Truvy Lane Jewelry is a company that I started with my 16-year-old son, and it's all about jewelry with intention so that we wear something that helps us to check into positive thought and surround ourselves with good, uplifting messages that we actually really need and lack if it's just left up to the way that the world works, right? Taking a little bit more power into our hands to surround ourselves with those meaningful messages, those meaningful intentions is what Truvy Lane is setting out to really do. And we have a collection of necklaces that are perfect for gifting. They are high quality, sweat-proof, waterproof, anti-tarnish, great necklaces. And they come with the meaning intended, and it's a perfect opportunity for you to write a note about why you thought that intention for the person you're giving to was meaningful, or why you picked it, or it allows you to actually give a gift that means just a little bit more. So I'm doing something kind of really fun that we started our Instagram page, and it's baby, it's just tiny, it's a little brand new. So if you go to our Instagram page, which is at Truvy Lane, TruviLane, Truvy Lane, and you just follow us and send a DM, I will automatically send you a coupon code for 30% off. That's the deepest discount we've ever given. And we just want to do it as a thank you to the listeners here on the Mindset Check podcast who have supported us in this avenue so much. I love my listeners here, and I know that you guys are heart-centered, incredible people, and you're people who want to grow, and I just highly respect you, and I love giving back. So if you go follow us at Truvy Lane on Instagram and send me a message that says, I would love the code, or anything referencing this that you're hearing, and I'll send you a coupon code, and you can get 30% off any necklace or lots of necklaces, whatever you choose. And whether it is a thoughtful gift for someone that you love or a special reminder to honor your own heart, Truvy Lane Jewelry will help you capture that and to really help you check into good, meaningful messages. All right, without further ado, because I would love to talk to you about all this Christmassy stuff that's happening, but we're going to do that in the episode. So let's jump right in. Earlier this week, I was chatting with a friend, and, we were going back and forth about how things are feeling, Christmas season, are you feeling like you're close to ready? Are you feeling really overwhelmed? Where are we at? And we were just kind of swapping, experiences. And she was reporting to me that she was working on this incredible gift for her mother. And she described it to me. It was so cool. So back when her grandmother was alive, her mother made her a quilt. She gathered little squares of handprints of all of her grandkids and put them together on this great big quilt and then presented it to her mother at Christmas, right? And she talked about how much that meant to her, and her grandmother literally treasured this gift. So my friend had decided to do the same gift for her mother. So she was telling me about how much work it had been to gather all of the grandkids' handprints and to put them together and to sew this quilt for her mother. So simultaneously, we were talking about how incredible it was that this gift was so filled with love. And, one of the most pure gifts that we can give is something that we think of that will be really meaningful and that conveys a lot of love. And then at the same time, we were talking about how she was like, I just don't know if I'll have time to really feel the season or to experience Christmas because of this, gift that I've chosen. And, it was one of those moments where I think as women, when we say things out loud, it really helps us because we check into what we're thinking and then it gives us an opportunity to rearrange it, right? But we were talking about how if she simply decided to be intentional about when it gets dark outside, turn the lights down and let the Christmas lights, be the lights that are lighting up your home, and really put on Christmas music or listen to Christmas stories or things that connect you to Christmas and intentionally feel Christmas while you work on the gift. The moments and the check-ins are what we kind of need, because instead of just wrapping the gifts and getting them done, maybe we'll be more intentional about, last weekend I turned on like this Christmas program. I turned on the Tabernacle choir at Temple Square. I turned on their Christmas concert in the background. And then I found tons of other like YouTube Christmas scenes with music laid over the top of it just to have on in the background while I was doing Christmassy things, right? Wrapping gifts and all of these things. And setting the environment changes everything. So essentially, it's a great thing to check in and think about. We don't actually need more time to feel Christmas. We need more signals. The environment is the message that brings Christmas to us. Christmas doesn't need more hours, it needs more moments. Through this podcast, I want to talk to you about 3 different signals or things that you can intentionally check into, even just in your thoughts, to help you bring the magic into your Christmas season without adding more to your plate. Because that's adding more to our plate is not what we need, right? And even 30 seconds in front of warm light can actually change your whole emotional state. Even one Christmas song can reset your body into peace. So first I want to talk to you about the science of Christmas lights and why they actually feel so good. So firelight is actually humanity's oldest signal of safety. And what I want you to think about when I'm telling you this is that things get embedded in your DNA and then they are passed from generation to generation. And so this still lives inside of you. And firelight really was our first home, right? For more than 100,000 years, humans gathered around warm, flickering flames at night. And fire actually signaled to their systems that they were safe from predators. It was a signal of warmth, of food, connection with others, a place where stories were told. And our nervous system literally evolved to read the warm glow from a fire as a sign that we're safe and it feels good and it feels like home, right? And that literally is the primal association inside of our DNA that really has never left us. So the color of the lights actually matter. So you know how, like, I don't know about you, but like my mom, she went and got some Christmas lights and they were like too bright white. And she was like, I can't do it. And she returned them because the warm lights were what felt like Christmas to her. And that warm Christmas light glow actually matters. Like the Kelvin range of the way that a light glows that reminds us of fire is what, matters. It's the same type of light that you see from candlelight or even from a sunset. And these warm hues signal relaxation to the brain. They actually quiet the sympathetic nervous system and they boost our thoughts towards rest and safety and connection. The warm light signals and tells the body, like, slow down. Inhale. Exhale. You're okay. You're okay. And even a flickering light is soothing for the brain. Firelight was the original sort of circle of connection. And we mentioned how around the fire, that's where the connections happened, where the storytelling happened, right? This is where all of that humanness, like connecting to other humans, sharing meals and feeling that sense of belonging and bonding happened, was around the fire. And that still signals to our system today. So it's interesting to think of setting an environment, like a Christmas environment. And yes, it takes you pausing and creating the environment. right? However much time it takes you to adjust the lighting. And if you're going to couple Christmas music with the environment, that takes a little bit of time. But we're talking seconds. We're talking literal seconds. And the brain shifts into a different brainwave state. There's a frequency that is felt, a calmness. There's this creativity that gets ignited inside of our ability to feel safe and calm. And this combination truly creates Christmas without needing hours and hours of free time to go and do all the Christmassy things, or to write the list of all the things you want to make sure that you don't miss out on this season. Just create the environment and everything changes. There's also another point that I kind of want to bring forward, and that is that winter is the quietest season, literally. And there's something that we can learn from nature, right? There's a gazillion lessons we can always learn from nature, but from this, in particular, around winter, is that it's literally quiet. The cold air actually reduces molecular movement, so sound doesn't travel as well in winter. Actually, snow is sort of like an absorption of sound. So have you ever been like in a snowstorm, but a quiet one, right? Where the snow is just falling down kind of softly, and it feels almost like the Twilight Zone because everything is so quiet. That's because snow acts as sound absorption. So, like when you go into a movie theater, like a home movie theater, and they have the panels for sound absorption on the sides of the wall, or you've probably seen like music studios or the way they set up sound booths, that kind of thing, that these absorption thick pads absorb the sound, so there's not like echoes and too much reverberation, or the sound can't carry. And when you're in the middle of a quiet snowfall, that is what you are literally experiencing, is that sound is being absorbed by these tiny little snowflakes and all the snow that's already on the ground. And it almost feels like you can hear your breath again, like you're just sitting there and you can hear your breath, and you could be so quiet. It's almost like a sacred moment, these experiences. I hope you've experienced that. If you haven't, then if you have a moment this winter where you are somewhere and it's snowing, usually snowing for me happens when I travel somewhere else, right? Because we don't get a lot of snow where I live. But walk out and let yourself experience the silence. Nature itself turns down the volume so that we can hear. Like, turn down the volume on all the things in your life and the things around you so that you can just hear your inner world. And there's a certain allowing to this. I don't know if you are much like me, but I really love to listen to books and podcasts, and I really kind of like keeping something in my ear, especially when I'm doing mundane tasks like laundry or dishes or cooking, or when no one's around, right? I try to be present when people are around, but when no one's around, I like having something in my ears. And even just like this last week, I would be like, oh yay, because I actually have some podcasts that I listen to check in for news. I have some that are for spiritual study. I have some that I check into for, and those kind of feel like I want to do them. But then what's funny is that I allow myself to listen to my fun books or things that I'm doing that are fun and enjoyable, that feel a little bit more of a moment to check out versus a moment to check in, I guess is kind of the way that I like to see it. And when I've had those moments this week to listen to my fun book, I'm kind of I just, what? I find myself not even being able to pay attention to it because my heart and my mind wants to be somewhere else. So I'm finding myself not turning it on and just letting myself think when I'm driving, or letting myself hear Christmas music. And like, it feels so good to just allow that, to just allow that. And when I was thinking about this metaphor between, the way that we show up and we learn lessons from nature, and nature's super quiet in the winter, I like to think of the purpose of it being on purpose so we can hear our inner world, so that we can check into something bigger and higher, than ourselves. I love it so much. I love the words from the Christmas carol, "It came upon a midnight clear," that says, "The world in solemn stillness lay." And I love the natural hush that this world brings forward for us to partake in and to join in and to do and mimic and parallel what it is doing. Another really great thing from nature that gives us a signal, for ourselves, that helps us think about life and the way that we can mimic or learn from nature, is the way that evergreen trees stay green. And the reason why they do is because they produce sort of a natural antifreeze. Their needles contain resin that keeps the water inside of them from freezing. And that's why evergreens stand strong when everything else looks bare. And I love the application for us to think about, like, I don't know if you kind of have felt in the past, like during the Christmas season, when you give everything to your family and to sort of just the enjoyment, right? And we put on the back burner a lot of things that we normally might check into. And at the end of the season, we can feel really stripped, like our leaves are shedding, are falling off. The water inside of those leaves has frozen. It froze. And I like thinking about, what is our antifreeze? What keeps us from having our leaves fall? And I like to think of staying connected to gratitude and love and faith, and those things being our own inner antifreeze, right? Something that keeps our hearts warm in cold seasons. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. Think about letting our heart be light, right? And if it were to freeze, right? If we didn't have the antifreeze, then it gets cold, hard, stiff, and actually even heavier. So be mindful of what is your antifreeze. Maybe having connections that actually really matter, right? That you are intentional about connecting and bonding with the people that you're with. And the way that kind of having those deeper levels of bonding can feed us, right? They can help us check into love. When we are giving heartfelt gifts like Kaylee, like, we are checking into something deeper, a deeper level of giving and love. So as the third signal, just try to figure out what it is that you actually need to make sure that you're checking into, even just in your thoughts, even in just giving, love and gratitude and speaking it out loud. I can remember a time when I did like this marriage course. I think I've talked to you about it before, but one of the things that we did in the very beginning of the course was to tell our husband how we appreciated him once a day. Like, once a day, give gratitude to him. And the key is that it had to be authentic. No matter how much our marriage might have been struggling or hurting or whatever it was that we were going through, if we could tell something genuine to him every single day. And the brilliance of the woman who was leading it, she was literally just setting a tone for us. So it was a great challenge, but it also helped us to see him in a different light. And it also softened him so that we could work through some of the things that we were going to be working through. And if you think about, like, feeling gratitude is important, but speaking gratitude and loving the people in our life and telling our kids, like, you're a gorgeous human, you know, or like maybe not something about like outward looks, but about something that just like you're so smart, or thank you for working so hard on that. Like I saw how you showed up with that, you know, whatever it is that can really allow you to communicate something and give genuine compliments and be grateful for them and the things that they're doing for you and all of those things. That is like antifreeze. That is literal antifreeze. And it allows you to stay green in a season when like all the other trees, quote trees, right, around you are losing their leaves. Oh my gosh, it's so good. I love that metaphor. And lastly, I just really want to point out for you that this is another short year. And when we have a short year at Christmas, what that really means is that Thanksgiving fell really late in November. And so we only have 4 weeks of the Christmas season. Whereas in years past or in years future, we'll have 5 weeks, which is a stark difference. What you can do in a week is crazy inside of Christmas. And so a long time ago, I learned that when Christmas is a short year, that's a year that I especially let some things go that could cause extra stress. I let go cards and I let go of neighbor gifts. And I still do some things like that help me to check into Christmas and feelings. I mean, aside from all of this, a long time ago, I decided to only do cards or only do neighbor gifts, and to switch the years. Because simplifying Christmas actually allows you to experience Christmas and not to feel the overwhelm. When everything goes too fast, we actually aren't checked into the intentions and the thoughts and the feelings and the, being able to go at a pace where we can even create the Christmas environment, right? And so I allow those things to take precedence, right? Like one year is cards and then another year is gifts and then every other, so that you're still, touching your, field and network of friends, but it doesn't have to be that you're doing all of it every year. And then again, on short years, sometimes I just say, hey, it's okay. What if my Christmas gift to myself was not doing neighbor gifts? Wow. What would that be? It would totally change things. So, I mean, who knows? This year I feel like I'm kind of doing great. Maybe I will check in and do a few neighbor gifts. Who knows? But I'm not putting any pressure on myself. And I'm not telling myself that it has to be a certain way. Christmas can be, and you can create it from anything. But as long as what you're checking into helps you to feel the Christmas spirit, that's what's important. And giving yourself grace outside of that is exactly what we should be checking into. Simplifying so that we can feel the season. Recently, I have these words in my mind from a meditation that I do often. And there's these words and it says, if you can let that be enough. And if you can let that be enough. And it's talking about what you can bring forward if you can let that be enough. But in our minds, many times we don't let that be enough. And we say, oh my word, did I do enough? Is this person's Christmas list fulfilled the right way? Is this, did I get enough for my child? Did I do, we literally torture ourselves. All of us do it. I do it. We all do it. And it's that's why it's so important to hear those words say to us, if you can let that be enough. I mean, this year I redid all of the ribbons on my tree. I took all the old ones off and I bought some new, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. And it turned out so great because I bought some new things to put on my tree. So not necessarily ornaments, but things to lay on the branches, right? Each little section has 5 different like Christmas pics compiled together, and it makes this beautiful like addition to my Christmas tree, all over my Christmas tree. And I bought some ribbon to like re-update that as well. And then I was like, oh my word, I need more ribbon. I need so much more ribbon. And I knew that the first time I got the ribbon that there was only one spool of ribbon. And I thought, oh, it's fine. I'll get more at Thanksgiving when I go, back out of town to the store that I was getting it from. And of course, when I went back at Thanksgiving, it was sold out everywhere. That same ribbon was sold out of every store. It was sold out online. And I ordered ribbon on Amazon and it came and it wasn't right. The color was just off a little bit. So I sent it back and I was looking at more and I was like, oh my word. It's like I kind of heard those words. If you can let that be enough. And so I used the ribbon that I had to hang up like my candy canes by my fireplace, and I just let it be enough. And the tree looks awesome, and there will be more on it next year, and it will be amazing. And like, I'm so happy and fulfilled, and it's fine. And I can let that be enough. I can simplify Christmas. Winter is the quietest season, and it is the quietest season for a reason. The snow softens sound, the cold air slows the world, and maybe that's why Christmas lights feel so holy. In the dark and the quiet, our nervous system finally hears that glow. Evergreens stand strong with their own natural antifreeze, and we do too. Gratitude, love, and faith. These are the things that keep our hearts warm in cold seasons. I love that my friend reminded me of something this year. That feeling Christmas isn't about more time. It's about more intention. A quiet room with soft lights, a song on in the background, a story whispered into your own heart. That's all it takes for Christmas to find you again. And I hope that through this, you see that you have more power than you think you do. All right, my friend, I hope you had some great takeaways from this episode. If it fed your heart, please share it with someone else. And please make sure that you subscribe to the podcast so that you don't miss future episodes. And also rate and review the podcast so that our podcast becomes more accessible to other listeners. I'm really wishing you a happy, beautiful, and Merry Christmas season. Before we go, I'm going to leave you with a quote from the movie Miracle on 34th Street. The quote says, "Christmas isn't just a day, it's a frame of mind." Until next time, my friend.